It's mid-March and things are warming up, and let's do a garden tour. It's March 15th and finally we've got some warm weather. We can uncover things, don't have to worry about everything getting frostbit and such as that. The collards here are doing good. We got part of a row of onions there. We've harvested out these, fixing to replant. These ones here are growing up. We're thinning them for green onions. We've got some more onions here, and we've just planted this row here today. Some green beans, Kentucky Wonders. Hopefully we won't have to put this row cover on. I'll be glad when I feel safe to take it out, but we're definitely not past our average last frost date. We got some more onions here. They're all doing good, growing up, doing real good. We've just recently planted this. In fact, I think it was yesterday. Put these cabbage in here. They'd been in their cell trays longer than I'd have liked them, but if I'd have put them out, I'd have had to worry about covering the row. Now we've got this area up here. We're going to do a project here coming up. I'll be doing a video soon with these containers and this particular area here. And as we go down, of course, we got some more onions. We got a little weeding that's going to have to be done. We got cucumber plants started, getting ready, but we've got the onions here. We've got our leek, and it's doing good. Some of it's getting close to harvest time. I'm going to let it get a little bit bigger. We've got most of our beds pretty much weed-free now, and we've got garlic here. We've got peas. They were really scarce the way they come up, and I think it's due kind of to the wind and not watering them often enough. But we went in and replanted, and they're coming back with a vengeance, but that's two different types, because we had a little Marvel, or the bigger ones, and these ones that are coming up are Alaska peas, and they're pretty old seed, but they germinate just real well. People say pea seeds don't last long, but they've been in the freezer probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years. And our elephant garlic, which it's doing good too. Haven't got this row planted. We got some more garlic there. We've just planted this area here with radishes, two different varieties. We put out our little rutabaga plants that we had inside, and decided to do it that way instead of direct seed, and that way we didn't have to thin, and they're overdue going out. We had some extra parsley, so we put this out because we're going to take that's inside the greenhouse and start planting tomatoes in there. We've got garlic and onions over here. Now this bed and that first garlic bed up there, at the end of it, we planted onions to be harvested as green onions, because there's nodules from the elephant garlic here, and they're not going to come up until it starts warming in the spring. We had just 2 or 3 come up over there so far, and so we said, let's not waste the space. We've been harvesting. We harvested these last Friday for the farmer's market, and we'll harvest some more. Now, the last freeze that come through just a few days ago, which it took out the asparagus. Of course, that's not slowing it down. It's shooting up new spears, so it'll do good. This bed here, we haven't recomposted it. We're going to pull the herbs out, and I think we're going to make this a rhubarb bed. I've got some seed germinating, but I don't know how well that's going to do. We'll see. I had some old seed, it didn't come up. Now this one that's covered white, these are carrots that we just put in today, and they're they'll be probably 4 or 5 days and they'll be germinated. In here, we've got lettuce in our little greenhouse. We didn't have enough to finish out. I think we've got some now that's big enough we'll probably put in there. And we've got celery along the side here, and we'll see how that does. We've got a few plants in here. I don't have real good germination on my cilantro, which it's slow and odd to germinate, but it should come up. I've been putting it in cell trays because it makes it real easy to harvest if it's planted in little clumps instead of just seeding it. And I'm trying to get some spinach so I can just put this out as individuals, or maybe there'll be two to a cell, but put it out that way. Now I got some zucchini that's starting to come up. I decided to put it in the cell trays. It's easy enough if there's going to be cold weather and it's not in the ground. I can easily take this inside where it's warm. Over here we've got some onions. Some carrots, and they're growing. They're probably a month away now. I've got a whole lot of propagations here. Some will take, some won't. I'm not worried about getting all these to root because I've got a whole lot of pears and apples and stuff like that, rootstock. And then I got some persimmons, and over here I've got my slips for my sweet potatoes, and as you can see, they're starting to really come up good. Won't be long. We'll be needing these maybe in about, I'm going to say about 30 days, hopefully. But anyway, they're doing really well. We've got some lettuce in this greenhouse. We've got our little lemon tree out here. We'll be doing some air rooting on this, and we'll probably do a video on that. We've got a bunch of blackberries that needs to be put out, and of course we've got some propagations, and I don't know how well my figs here. Normally I get a whole lot better success rate on these, but I've had a real bad problem with fungal gnats, and so their little I don't know, you want to call it worm or whatever, that gets in and eats the roots off the plants. I think they've been doing a job on them. We've got elderberries. We've got some peach trying to propagate there. More elderberries. A few leftover plants. We got a fig. It's trying to come out there. We've got a few others that we put in here. The last freeze, we didn't put this one in, and as you can see, it nipped those leaves off, so it's going to be a little bit before it comes back. We definitely have some more onions that needs to be put out. I've trimmed these back maybe a couple weeks, and to 2 inches tall, and now they're like a foot tall. We've have some herbs out here that need to be put out, and we've got some we potted up that's right there. Chard is doing okay. Of course, I don't know how long it's going to last out here. Definitely, we're going to have to make some room for some tomatoes. Now, I have my little cucumbers out here, and they look all droopy, and they're not because they're dry, but I don't think they like in here amongst this cilantro is part of their problem. And I'll be harvesting the last of this out of here probably this week, this Friday, and then we'll go ahead. I've got some more cucumbers ready to go out. Over here we have all our fig cutting propagations. These are all the ones that are rooting out good and have been moved out here. Some of them don't have leaves. This one just now starting to shoot out some green, and like these two, but they started rooting good, and that's usually what I like to see is roots first. We've got some tomatoes here. These plants are getting kind of tall, wanting to be in the ground. They've been grown in where it's been a little warmer because I'd like to keep them out where it's cooler, but it's just kind of hard with the not knowing if it's going to freeze or not. We've got a few elderberries here that have been rooted out real well. That's went into 1 gallon pots. All these in here are my little citrus trees that I'm experimenting with. I've got some grapefruit, some red grapefruits, and some blood oranges in there, and a lot of them's taken off, doing good. I believe, yeah, this one here is the single seed challenge. Now, it's not the biggest grapefruit. These two here are outgrowing it, but it's coming along. It's not going to be the fastest growing plant, but that'd be good. You got a little parsley here. We've got part of our row cleared. We have some potatoes that's in here. We're going to give them as much time as we can before we dig them out, maybe get some size. If they start to die, we'll do something with them. And of course, we've got a lot of other of our plants here. Some of our herbs are over here that's been potted up. We've got cucumbers and squash and various types of peppers. We've got some okra and a lot of tomatoes up here. These tomatoes really, they're ready to get in the ground. And now we have carrots along here. This up in the corner, we've marked these off. We're going to save these and let them go to seed. The rest of these, this is about harvested out. The ones down here, now they'll be ready to harvest here pretty quick. I think we've been getting 1 or 2 out of there. I've picked up a few more thornless blackberries. All these are fixing to be put out, and then I've got a raspberry that I'll be putting out, but these will go out soon. Over here we have our lacinato kale and our cabbage that we had put out. Now we just got these out yesterday, I believe, maybe the day before. This is broccoli. This is the variety is Gypsy, and I've grown it into warm weather pretty good. Of course, it should be a while before we get warm weather. Now we've left these turnips. We're going to see if we can't get some turnips on them instead of just greens. The greens got eat up pretty good. You can see they've got burnt by the different cold spells we've got. We didn't cover them on the last one. We said they can fend for themselves. We've been talking about pulling them out and replanting that row. The strawberry plants are blooming up a storm, and they're just getting loaded up with strawberries. Hopefully here in just a couple of weeks we ought to be really getting ready to start harvesting some off of here. Hopefully we're past all our cold weather, but you don't never know. Now right here we've got some cabbage left, leaving it to fill out. We've just planted this here today, which is some more Kentucky Wonder green beans. And this here is a sprouting broccoli. We'll see. This is green variety, and we'll see how it does. Normally I don't grow sprouting broccoli itself. I'll just cut the heads off of my regular broccoli, and then I'll collect side shoots, or the sprouts come off of there. Our blueberry bushes, they've been having a hard time. We did cover them for this last little freeze, which it got down to 25, but as you can see, it looks like everything hung in there with the little bit of a wrapper protection we gave them. So we should be getting some blueberries off of these. They're actually one of these bushes. Of course, this one I got to get over here and stake up. But this one was actually starting to form the blueberries itself. And so we should do good on that. This is a later variety. It's just now starting to swell its buds there for its blooms. They'll be blooming pretty quick. This one actually had leaves on it. And it looks like they might not have liked all the cold. But you can see it's got just a few little blueberries. So we ought to get a taste. We're going to be moving these strawberries out that we've got over here and filling in holes in the bed. But anyway, that's where we're sitting right now. It's really a lot of activity. It's changing daily. Today I broke up my other two garden plots. The one I rebroke where we'd planted the potatoes, and they're starting to come up. We'll take a look at those the next garden tour. But we're going to put in some corn. We'll do that tomorrow. And in two of those plots, we'll put a little section of corn in there. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this garden tour and the update on how things are going. If you want to see more and you're not subscribed, we'll just hit that subscribe and hit the bell button so you'll be notified. And of course, if you like it, give it a big thumbs up. Happy gardening.